Let's unpack this further now. We are now joined by political analyst Dr. Sysman Motloung. Dr. Motloung, thank you so much for your time. So, I mean, what do you make, firstly, of these delays and the demands that are being made by the former president, Jacob Zuma, for one, to have these hearings physically or at least made public?
Yeah, I think mainly what he wants to do is, as you hear from his supporters, I think he wants to create an environment where people can come to show support. And I think for him, those numbers mean something for him as a statement to the political party. Secondly, it's a matter of saying, if it is made public, he would want to have the public understand what the claims that ANC is making against him. And hopefully he wants to use this opportunity to declare certain things that would be maybe unsettling in the public or shocking, or certain truths that the ANC would not want this made public. For me, that is mainly the two elements that I think could be considered here.
And I mean, when we look at, past cases, when the former ANC Secretary General Ace Magashule failed to appear before the disciplinary committee last year, he was subsequently expelled. I mean, what route do you think the ANC will be forced to take this time around?
Yeah, I think the ANC should do that. You shouldn't necessarily have new mechanisms that apply for Mr. Zuma alone. If he has been asked to present himself and he fails to do that, then you make a declaration in absentia. I think that is also tradition in the courts. When one is asked to appear before the judge or magistrate, you're not there, they would make some declarations in your absence. So I think here it is something NC can do. Unless NC wants to also say, we don't want him to feel as if we had it against him. When he said he cannot connect because of poor Wi-Fi, that is a big issue, that somebody says, I want to be there, but technology and these technical issues are a hindrance. And what alternatives can be done? Would NC say, send somebody to see and boost his network there? Is it something that can be done to help him access it instead of having him to come face to face? And that claim as well, it's something that also shows Mr. Zuma saying he is under-resourced. It's hard to believe though, but this is a former head of state, and you say at your residence you cannot have access to internet. It's really unsettling. It's a bit disturbing. So you see that. I think ANC, they either believe it. If they feel this person is really playing around, then they just make a decision without him.
What do you then make, firstly, of the delays in this instance? And can the ANC go ahead with these hearings without the former president and conclude them?
The ANC can continue. What we see here in terms of the implications is that if it does not continue with it, it appears in the public that the ANC, that is, it appears as if it is undecisive about this. It is hesitant to take a stern action against Mr. Zuma. And this is from the very beginning, when he already declared his support to a different political party. Some sections in society were calling on the ANC to really act, and were expecting for it to suspend him like it did with Mr. Magashule. But its delay or non-action at that time was understood as if ANC is playing out to see that it does not suspend him in the time before elections, because that might have a negative impact on its electoral performance. But now it is post-elections. ANC has been wounded by Mr. Zuma's actions, and still now it doesn't seem to be stern about taking action against him. So this really shows a political party that is held ransom by an individual, and this individual is a member at it. So that shows the weakness of the political party if it does not act on him.
And in fact, just on that reference of Mr. Magashule, we saw how the ANC went ahead and expelled him. Of course, that also raised a number of challenges going forward in terms of criticism. But just in terms of the charges themselves, the former president, has been charged under Section 25 or Rule 25 of the organization's constitution for endorsing the MK party ahead of those May elections, as you've rightfully said. These are serious charges for the party's constitution. But just going forward, I mean, this would be a momentous occasion, of course, having to deal with the party's most senior leader. He was once the president of not only the country, but also of the ANC. In terms of, the legacy then of the former president, Jacob Zuma, it is something that he probably wants to hold on to for some time. Very quickly, if you can, just give us your sentiments on that, just the symbolism of this moment for him.
No, I don't think so much Mr. Zuma wants to preserve his legacy in the political party. He knows that people who support him will always associate him with the ANC. But what he already is doing is write a new legacy for himself by endorsing a new formation that really toppled the ANC out of power. This is more than something he wants to hold on to in the movement itself, because in the ANC already, he's somebody who's respected as a liberation fighter. So that is done with. He is writing a new legacy. So the ANC, if it is hesitant, it's another thing.
Yeah. All right. So thank you so much for your time, Dr. Motloung. There, of course.